Creed's something entry. Still taking notes of events as they occur. Still alive. Still no sign of Firdas.
Before you stands this hideous humanoid form that's almost as tall as you are, except it's made up of the corpses that were strewn around the room of this tower, and it has 4 beefy arms.
I'll call forth the bestial spirit that manifests itself in an unoccupied space that I can see, which is on the opposite side of this thing that's attacking me. As the creature that I'm choosing it to resemble, it will be... I'm going to go with the big bear.
However, it's possible that Firdas is nearby, as we have heard shouting that there was a 3rd giant spotted.
Firdas, you, about the time that your bear reaches you and you're trying to plan what your next move is, you start to hear shouting coming from the entrance of this castle. What do you do?
I'm going to go and run back into the entrance that I left out of.
A couple of these little tiefling guys run in and they say, "There is a 3rd giant. He is outside the castle." People start marching out towards the entrance of this.
There are 5 of us, so I don't know why they said 3rd. It's as if Miss Bogdana and I are invisible to them. We escaped the pit.
You fire this acid arrow, and it does hit the center of this or this grate. This grate splinters at the point where you were hanging, and little fragments fall as this thing swings free.
And currently, I'm huddled in the corner, scribbling in my notes as Mad Sheena and Bogdana take on an ungodly monster made of corpses. Will this be my last entry? We'll find out.
They get sucked up into this whirlwind, and you see the formation of a body made of bodies in the shape of a dragon. It's standing taller than you. It's probably standing about 35 to 40 feet. It shakes its head and it looks down at you, and then it lets out this tremendous roar. Time to Die Podcast Network presents The Giant's March. The road is long, but the world is small. Firdas, you were down in the dungeon and encountered this spiral staircase going up, and when you traversed it to the top, you find yourself in an ornate castle kind of entryway. You can see what's probably the main gates just by the look of them, and they're open, and you can see kind of that open square outside the doors, and you can hear voices out there. To your opposite side, if you were to walk into the entry, you would see 2 corridors and a door against the back wall there, and then some little doors off to the sides and stuff. But you're going to guess wherever your friends would be, it's probably one of the main corridors if they were actually going to a throne room or a meeting room or some such.
I would like to take a keen listen around the area and see if I hear any sort of commotion or anything. So that would be a 17.
It's kind of muffled, but down the left corridor you hear this resonating roar of something large and pretty ferocious.
Well, that's gotta be them. And I will start to run that direction, making sure that I don't leave my spectral bear behind.
You're just going to be dashing?
Yes.
Mads and Cena, you are in the room with this terrible, terrible dragon made of corpses, and it's just roared at Mads. Mads has already taken an action, and I think we should roll initiative.
Okay.
Fucking kidding me, Sadie.
You can add my charisma modifier to your initiative, by the way, if you're within 10 feet of me. +3.
Lit. Thank you for that.
Why don't you roll it too, Chris?
All right. 12.
Mads, as soon as this dragon sort of comes to its senses and gives its big roar, it sees the damage that you have done to its midsection, and it comes down with its chompers and bites on your upper torso area. Does a 19 hit?
Yeah, it does.
Shit, okay. It's going to deal out 20 damage
Okay.
for piercing, and then it's going to deal out an extra 18 fire damage.
All right.
It's this weird, almost translucent magical flame that's erupting from this thing's throat because it's made of these bones and this flesh and these corpses. And then, as a simultaneous attack, it reaches out its claws and slashes against Cena for 22 damage, or 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
You take 17 slashing damage as this thing tears its claws through you. And then it rears back its head, and Mads, it's your turn.
Good evening. You have picked the wrong place to show yourself. I will defeat you. And Mads will swing twice with his glaive. The first one is a 7 plus 10, 17.
Is a... Oh, there it is. 11. AC.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I cannot miss even with a natural 1.
Okay, you're always gonna hit. We don't even have to roll attacks anymore for you.
Okay, well then, because it is an undead dragon, I will go ahead and smite both of these attacks. And the radiant damage will be double then. Okay, so the slashing damage, this is just slashing. We have 13 on the first one, and 17 on the second. Are you good for the radiant now?
I did 13, I did 17.
Okay, perfect. And then we have 5 doubled is 10, and 7 doubled is 14.
Yeah, your glaive just eats through these corpses, and you see tons of bones and viscera just go scattered across the room, and there's a mist of dust rather than blood, and this dragon lets out this curdling roar.
I am not afraid of you, dragon.
Well, Donna's going to...
My wife.
Your wife has a very nice long range, thanks to you.
I do what I can.
That's a hit. That was a miss. But she gets another one. And that's a crit. Okay.
Yes!
After Mads finishes saying his quip, Bogdana launches 2 bolts from her crossbow straight into this beast. From the opposite direction against the far wall, there's 2 more corpses fly off this body, and that takes us to Creed, who's going to jot some things down in his journal and hunker in a corner. Cena.
Cool. Alright, so we're just gonna start big and get smaller. So we're gonna use my last 2nd level spell slot and cast Flaming Sphere. So Cena reaches up and pulls down her goggles over her eyes and goes, "Excuse me for a minute." And she reaches into this little pouch at her side and takes out a pinch of brimstone. And a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears in front of the dragon and then slams into it. And I need it to make a dexterity saving throw.
Alright. 4.
Okay, cool.
That's a nat 1.
Nice.
You know what? The dragon's gonna choose to save.
Nice.
Okay, then. So it's gonna
Forgot I could do that.
So it's gonna take 5 damage anyway from successful one.
Feardos, you get halfway down this corridor and you start hearing gore and arrows and flames, and there's definitely you're heading towards something. You don't know what exactly, but it's just at the end of this and through another large threshold, and you'll probably be there.
All right.
You just keep trekking.
Yeah. If I can get there, I'll try to get there.
Okay, you'll probably get there next turn, and you're dashing.
Just to sort of paint the stage a little bit like that, even though they're fighting this dragon, they can hear the faint but ever-growing sound of giant footsteps quickly coming their way. But also it's like this sort of thwap against the floor constantly of my flip-flops smacking against the marble floors, I would guess, in this castle.
I think I just said stone tiles, but whatever, either way.
Oh, if only marble was made out of stone.
Wow!
No, Chris, it's different. The dragon kind of does a Godzilla gurgle thing where she looks up to the sky and there's this kind of rumbling sound, and then she points her head straight at you, Cena and Mads, and there's just an eruption of flames. Give me dex saves.
Good. Give us all you have. I relish in it. So, fuck. 15 plus 7 is 22, right?
Yes. And that's a 13 for Cena.
You both fail. Mads was right on the edge. Let's find out what happens as a result. She explodes the whole room into flames, and you both take 37 fire damage.
Cena's down.
Okay.
It's just point blank right in your faces. Mads, you hear as you brace yourself against this flame and you start patting yourself out, you hear a thunk and you look back and you notice that Cena has hit the stone floor. And it is your turn.
How does this dragon look?
You have knocked probably about half of its corpses off of its body, and they're just strewn around the room.
Okay.
And there's kind of dust piles everywhere.
I am going to reach back because I'm fucking massive, so I should be able to do that, and I will touch Cena for 25 hit points.
Is there any visual element to you healing Cena?
I think it's mostly just power that kind of surges out of me.
And her eyes open, and she regains consciousness, and the burn marks that were all over her flesh sort of recolorized to her skin tone, and she starts looking back to her normal self. And then Bogdana fires with her short bow again.
I'm bloodied, by the way, from that last attack. Just FYI.
Okay. She's going to deal out. Another arrow lodges itself into this dragon from Bogdana's short bow. And at this point, I think we're going to hop to Feardos. You burst into this room, and before anything happens, I need you to roll perception for me.
Alright. And by the way, me bursting in the room looks like when Kramer would burst through Jerry's door in Seinfeld.
You kind of slide on the marble a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I got a 16 perception.
You're scanning the room visually, you see kind of what's going on, and then there's a loud clang from the right side that sounds like somebody dropped something metallic. And when you look over there, the door is closed, there's nothing there, but it sounded like it was in the room with you. All you see are the 3 walls on your right that have those large ornate tapestries hanging from the ceiling almost to the floor.
And this is in the room with the fight?
It's all going down here in the throne room.
And so I heard a clang, but I can't see what it was.
You heard it to your right. It sounded like it was in the room with you, but when you look over, you see a closed door, and then you see it's an octagonal room. So 3 of those walls on your right side have huge tapestries, and that's all you see on that.
Alright, so, but then I also see the dragon fighting with my cousins and traveling companions.
Totally.
Okay.
They're all straight ahead of you.
I shout, cousins! And then I quickly turn back towards Ursa, who's running to catch up, which, how long would it take it to catch back up to me?
Well, what's your dashing speed? You're 120 feet plus 120 feet, right?
Okay, it's long gone. It's probably not showing up in this battle. So, yeah, I turn and say Ursa, and I'm like, damn it! And I'm going to, do I at least have enough movement speed to get up near, I can see that Sina's not doing super hot, right?
I'll say you can see her getting back up off the floor. Give me a high or low.
I'll do high.
You're not going to be able to make it. You're able to probably get to about the pit, the entrance side of the pit, but you'd still have to get all across the pit and across the room and into this back area where they are. It's probably, I'm going to call it 150 feet.
Okay, how close am I to the dragon?
150 feet.
Oh, okay. So, I'll just smile and wave like Forrest Gump when he's on the boat and he sees Lieutenant Dan.
Nice of you to join us, Firdaus.
Well, you see, I was in the neighborhood. I thought I'd drop by.
As you're saying that, the dragon rears up again and then comes down upon Mads for another chomp. For another shitty roll. I think that was what I got last time. 20 hit?
Yeah.
You don't have to call Mads a shitty roll. Wow.
This dragon does 18 piercing damage to you, Mads, and
Okay.
10 fire damage.
All right. Mads is looking rough.
It's fire upon fire, plus you've already taken a couple chomps, and so this dragon is then going to reach out and do another slash on Sina with her claws for a huge attack. 18. Oh, that's going to hit. No question.
Sina's armor class is 12, so yeah.
Well, this attack was well over 20, so.
Oofa doofa.
As long as it wasn't a crit.
14 slashing damage
Okay.
as these claws tear through you yet again. Another roar, and we come back to Mads.
All right. Mads is going to have to bring down the glaive a couple more times. I'm going to roll just to see if I crit, because we've already established that I can't miss.
Yep.
Didn't miss. Didn't miss. Okay. And I will also add my last smite to the bill.
Okay, give me your first attack first,
All right.
separately.
The first attack is going to be 10 slashing damage.
Okay.
The second one is going to be 15 slashing
Okay.
and a perfect 16 radiant. That's already doubled.
Okay. So you deal out all this damage with your first attack with the glaive, and then when you pull back to swing again, there's a huge explosion of dust in your face as the mass of this dragon suddenly, almost as if on the breeze, blows across the room towards Bogdana and then reforms as all these corpses, and she is now no longer adjacent to you, and there is no attack of opportunity. She's adjacent to Bogdana.
That was after the first attack?
That was upon your second attack.
So Sina got moved?
Sina, you're still with him. Bogdana is over by the pit.
Okay.
So Firdaus, this dragon just appeared in front of you about, what did I say the pit was? 80 feet. And that brings us to Bogdana, who will use her short sword. As soon as this thing appears, Bogdana pulls out her short sword and slashes through it. You see several of the corpses fall off the body and go down into the pit. And that brings us to Sina. What do you want to do?
So Sina's been wearing the ring that she got out of the box since she got it. And she is going to use her action to use that ability that she got with it to cast Power Word Heal on Mads. So you regain all of your hit points.
Holy fuck!
Artificers get healing spells?
Nope, but this one does.
It was just that one, and I can only use it once a day.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
That feeling when you go back up to 137, like, fuck the world.
Cena's seen you take one too many hits, and she's just like, fucking fine, okay? Let me return the favor.
Me and that dragon have unfinished business.
So then go finish it.
Yes, cousin.
Feardas, give me another perception at advantage since you already heard the first one.
Alright, that is 19.
This time from the left side instead of the right. The opposite wall on your left, because it's an octagonal room, it's another 3 walls with another 3 decorative tapestries. And this time you hear a metal chain rattle and you hear a cranking noise.
What the fuck could that possibly be? You said the dragon landed near me, or it was 80 feet away from me when you said
it is now 80 feet away from you. There's a huge pit between you and the dragon.
Okay, I'm gonna look towards like where I heard that sound, and is there any sort of mechanism that I can quite figure out or something over in that area?
The middle wall, you see a large giant-sized door that's closed, and then above it there are 3 decorative tapestries.
And do the tapestries have anything connected to them, like chains or anything like that?
They look like they're hung on huge metal rods from the ceiling, and then they come down just about to the top of this door.
I'm gonna kind of do a double take and because I want to run up and heal Cena, but also like hearing that clang, I know that nothing good could come from that, and so I'm going to run towards one of the tapestries and kind of look underneath it and see if there's like some sort of mechanism under there that is hiding.
Give me another perception.
Would this be investigation?
Sure, if you want it to be.
Doesn't matter, it's about the same. So 17.
You get right up against this wall, and when you look up on this tapestry, you can just barely tell the separation from the wall and the tapestry where it's suspended. Between that, you can see what looks to be a cutout in this wall, like it's hollowed out behind the tapestry. And that's about all you can make out from your vantage point. And I'll give you this, 'cause that's a high roll. You notice that with the second tapestry as well, and you might guess the third, but you can't see it because it's at a different angle.
Alright, and then would I have enough movement to make my way for that door?
The door's not far from you. I think you can reach it.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick that motherfucker open and see what I can see in there.
You see a large, giant-sized kitchen with all the things. There's nobody in it right now.
Well, that wasn't what I was expecting. I'm gonna be really confused, and I'm gonna turn around and throw my spear at the dragon.
Okay.
And it'll be at disadvantage because it's so far away. Which, luckily enough, that's 17 plus 8? No, plus 11.
Got her.
Yeah. Let's see. Fucking 1 on the damage die plus 8, so 9 damage. But it returns back to me. Oops.
You launch this spear towards the dragon, and there's another explosion of dust, and it returns back to Mads and Cena. And your spear just clatters to the floor behind it.
And I'm gonna shout out, there's something going on with these tapestries. It's like some mechanism. I can't figure it out, though.
Mechanisms are kind of my shit, but just give me a minute.
Understandable.
Friendly reminder, his spear doesn't clatter to the ground because it returns to his hand immediately.
I want to do a clatter sound effect. I'm going to say
Too bad!
it
Too fucking bad!
Well, it's got to connect, right? As soon as it hits the floor, we'll say it vanishes and it's in his hand again like a yo-yo.
Fucking fine, I guess.
It's logic.
You're the worst, Brian.
Oh, it's logic.
There's another gurgle in the throat of this monster, and then it looks down at you and blows another blast of flame like a furnace. I don't do that. For a dex save.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. That would be a 26.
That's a save. What'd you get, Cena?
Oh, shit. 14.
You're next to me, though, so you get to add your proficiency to it.
Yep, I already
Probably
did.
gonna be a negative.
14.
Oh, shit.
Mads took 14 fire damage. Cena took 27 from this huge blast of flame.
Cena's down.
God damn it.
Mads will shout out to Feardas. Feardas, can you get Cena back up?
On it.
Mads will charge at the dragon, and I would like to leap into the air and try and grab it by the neck and drag it down to the fucking pit.
Okay. It dust burst to you, right?
Oh, it's right next to me again?
When Feardas threw his spear, it teleported right adjacent to you.
Oh, okay. Instead, I will, go ahead and hack at this motherfucker's neck a couple of times then.
Okay.
Well, didn't miss the first time, and did not miss the second time. So that'll be 15 slashing with the first one, and 10 slashing with the second one.
Any radiant?
No, I'm out of smites.
You see that this dragon is just got strands of dried skin and mummified flesh just hanging off of her like Swamp Thing, and her head's kind of hunkered down and she's starting to stagger a little bit.
Reminder, I did eat that rat a while back, and you did describe like power pulsating off of me, but then we kind of got away from that, and I was just curious if maybe there was, a little bit of more Mads magic, maybe?
Thank you, yes. As soon as you take this hit on this terrible dragon and you're observing that it is now looking rough, it is suddenly blasted backwards by another energy wave that explodes from your core. And it even kind of rolls Cena over onto her stomach. And Bogdana...
That's just fucking humiliating. That's just humiliating. That's all that is.
Bogdana's going to be caught off guard, and she falls backwards, and...
If she falls into the pit, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, she does, but she rolled high enough. She manages to grab the ledge of this pit before completely falling in, and she's just hanging onto the edge now. And Feardas, you are far enough away that this thing just makes you take a step backwards, but it was a large energy wave from Mads, and that's going to bring us to Bogdana. She's going to try and climb out of the pit.
And she climbed from the pit.
Which she successfully does. She throws a foot up and she starts heaving herself over the ledge and then kind of rolls back into her normal stance. Creed picks his pencil up off the floor because he dropped it.
Oh lord, she heaving.
Feardas, what do you do?
Does my 120-foot movement get me to Cena?
You know what? You've been doing this thing. I think we need to do it again. One more perception at advantage before you do.
It's a 15.
Particularly from this side that you are on, you hear more rattle of metal, and then you hear a ka-chunk, and it sounds heavy, and it's coming from above you in these cutouts of behind the tapestries. You're welcome to do what you want.
Whatever this is, it's not good. But I'm trying to help my cousin, so I don't have time to mess with it. I'm trying to get to Cena to raise her back up. So, Cure Wounds is a touch spell, so I need to be right there.
120 feet, you're going to be able to reach her.
Alright. And then, do I take any opportunity attacks from that dragon?
Nope, it's over by Mads.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to reach down and yeah. All right, and that's 2 HP.
Cool.
It's like,
You
even if I cast it at third, you might get like what, 8 or 9, and it's like they're just.
You cast a spell, and it's enough to make Cena open her eyes, and she fidgets, and it's like she feels like she can probably stand, but she still looks absolutely burned from these flames. Give me a high or low, Chris.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. And and I'll go low this time.
Fuck. Okay, that was not good. Not good for you.
Let's just re-record that. I said hi.
I thought you were gonna choose high. That's why I was like, oh man, he's got this. And then
I chose high last time. I never do the same one twice in a row.
as soon as Cena's eyes open and she starts to raise up, you hear the loud sound of cloth rustling, and then you hear a voice of a man scream, "Take him!" And all the tapestries fall from where they were suspended, and you see in all the cutouts on these 6 walls to your left, to your right, there are these massive ballistas pointing down at you all, and they're armed by tieflings.
All right.
The dragon. What's left of the dragon? The dragon's gonna try to bite Mads again.
Yes,
19.
that will hit.
This dragon comes down on you yet again. It's still got incredibly fast speed despite its injuries. It does 21 piercing damage to you and 14 fire.
Okay.
Another slash, this time at Firdaus.
I just realized I forgot to add my spellcasting modifier to that Cure Wounds, and so it would actually...
I was wondering that.
Yeah, so it would be 8 that she got.
Awesome. Okay. We're at double digits, boys.
As you can tell, I don't play a healer often.
24 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. It swipes a huge claw, this time through you, Firdaus, for 16 slashing damage. Mads, what do you do?
Can I continue off of the attack that just happened to me?
That she attacked you?
Yeah, you know how she reached down and took a chomp out of me?
Sure did, yeah, you can go off of that.
I would love to hang on to the head and ride her up. And then I would like to place my my feet against the neck bone and try and rip her fucking head off.
Give me athletics.
All right.
Holy shit.
So that'll be a 27.
Okay. That beats her con. So you take this mass of corpses in your hands that forms her head, and I think it's probably about the size of your entire torso, but you're able to bear hug this thing, and then you plant your feet on her neck and just yank back with all the strength of your core, and you hear a loud tearing sound of just dry flesh and brittle bones as this thing comes off in your arms and you topple backwards to the floor, and you don't take any damage, but this whole dragon starts to stagger and walk around blindly, and the head seems just dead flesh in your arms.
I'm gonna hang on to that and end my turn.
I will say that you just took away its fire breath and its bite attack and its sight.
I'm fucking into it. Holy fucking shit!
Gotta do Bogdana real quick. She's just gonna fire a thing. Bonk. That's gonna be a hit. Okay. Bogdana fires another 2 shots from her short bow at the body of this dragon as it's blindly staggering around, and she takes it off the rest of its neck. Just completely explodes to the floor. Sina, your eyes have opened to this sight of Mads coming down towards you with a massive dragon head in his arms, and he hits the ground right at your feet. What do you want to do?
Sina is gonna get to her feet, and so this dragon is no more. It's decapitated completely.
There's a body of a dragon decapitated at the neck, and it's just kind of wandering around at this point, swinging its arms. It's mostly torn to ribbons.
We need to go, cousin. I have found us a shield to protect from the ballista, but from there we must escape.
Okay, so real quick then, before we leave, I'm gonna do this, and this might be stupid, but this is what Sina would do. Before we start running, how big around is this pit again?
I said 80 feet diameter.
Okay, so she's gonna use as much of her movement as she can to run around and look for the sapphire.
Okay. You're gonna just use your full dash action?
Yeah.
I will let you do an investigation or a perception.
Investigation is higher. I had to ask if Gygax can help me, but guess what? Please. Oh! It's a 17. And fuck it, can I use my own reaction to add my intelligence mod?
I'm not going to make you do that because I already rolled. You, in a frenzy, fall to the floor and start scrambling around this pit where you see all the remnants of your raccoon, and you just kind of start searching metal piece by metal piece, from nut to bolt to spring to sprocket, and then a glint of light catches your eye, and it's just so faint, but you search the general vicinity, and down inside one of the cracks between these stones, you find your gem.
Oh, okay. She picks it up and she's gonna stick it in her pocket. She's gonna go, I can find more metal.
Roll dex to see if it falls out of your hands and goes down into the pit.
Brian!
First the ebony fly, and now this.
Don't do
That's a deep
this.
cut.
Don't. Okay.
Well.
I hope my ancient enemy, deep holes. Deep holes in very tiny magical items.
Yeah, you find your gemstone.
Oh, thank God. Okay. She's like, I can find more springs and scrap metal. Well, I can make them out of anything. And then she's just going to turn around and go, all right, we need to go. Let's go.
So technically we're not out of initiative yet. I'm going to let Firdas take a turn, and then the ballistas are going to have their action, and then at that point, y'all can decide as a party what you do.
So, how far apart are these ballistas?
I'm going to say 50 feet apart.
Okay, and there's 3 of them?
No, there's 6 of them.
6 of them. Okay.
It's an octagonal shape, so 3 walls on your left have these cutouts, 3 walls on your right have these cutouts.
Okay. So, yeah, I'd say I'm gonna boogie on out with my cousins.
Okay.
I'm just like holding my shield behind me, just like blindly, like, oh shit. We're probably leaving the room at the same time. Ursa's finally climbing the stairs, and I'm like, nice of you to show up.
I'm holding this head to, like, create a barrier if I can.
Number 3 is Mads, Bogdana, Creed. Oh, fuck. That's not good. Okay. Oh, that's not good at all. Okay, 4. It is 4 times. He only got hit by 1 out of the 4 that shot him. So, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And then I have to quickly roll for Mads. 15. 21 hit, Mads.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And I also have to hit for Bogdana. all 6 of these ballistas start firing their bolts. And when they do, some of them miss, and you see those bolts as they zip across the room and hit the back wall. They have these cables attached to them from the bolt to the ballistas, like a grapple shot. And one of them hits Creed in the leg.
No.
One of them hits you, Mads, and one of them hits Bogdana. And they start, hoisting this crank, and you feel yourself being pulled, but then they pull this lever and lock it into place. And roll nature for me, Mads.
Nature? Okay. Yes, these are chains. 17.
You look down at this huge arrow that's sticking through you, and the cable that's attached to it. You would have a good guess that this is made of adamantine.
Alright, well, I'm gonna yank the fucker.
Alright, I have rules for this. Give me a straight strength save.
Strength save, okay. 10 plus 13 is 23.
You yank on this, and it fucking hurts as it digs through your interior, because this thing lodged itself deep, and you almost get it out. You take 5 damage.
Oh, no. I'm not trying to pull it out of me. I'm trying to pull the fucking ballista out of where it is.
Gotcha. You know what? Fuck it. You pull on this cable, and it's not that the ballista is going to be weakened by this because it's made of adamantine. It's that the lodging that it was fastened into these bricks that are old, ancient, giant stone, it all tears loose, and the entire ballista rips out of its place in this hole in the wall and comes toppling down. And you see one of the tieflings reach to grab it, and they get yanked with it, and they fall a good amount of feet, and it looks like they've probably broken their arm when they hit the floor. And this whole thing resonates through the room as it crashes to the ground. Bogdana's just going to try to pull hers. Bonk! And she fails.
Add my intelligence mod. That's 3.
Also, don't forget to add the 3 from being near Mads.
16. It's not quite. You can hear her cry out with pain as she tries to pull this, and it doesn't quite come out. What do you guys want to do? Fat Bard's just sitting there helpless.
Cena's gonna whip around and try to help Bogdana.
Okay. I will add your strength scores together.
Cool. This is a strength save or a strength check?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. These are strength saves.
Okay. Fuck! I can't have shit in this house! That's a 15. God damn it!
In this house. You reach down on the arrow, and together you pull as one, and you yank this from her body, and she gives another cry of pain, but it is loose, and then she immediately shakes it off and goes to run to help Creed.
Mads was already making his way over to Creed, and he is going to try and yank the ballista from its perch again.
You kind of see Creed shake his head with wide eyes, but then kind of let you do it reluctantly.
Alright, Mads is going to not be gentle about this.
Oh.
So we have a 7 plus 13 is dirty 20.
It's not enough. You don't have any boosters for that. What about Cena's? Does Cena boost you at all?
She already used her reaction, so
that
no.
was a reaction. Okay.
Yep.
You give a yank, and it starts to go out of his leg, but it hooks on kind of a barb shape, and he cries out as you almost pull him off his feet. He kind of slides across the floor, and you feel like maybe another tug might do it, but you're not sure.
Mads will instead pull out his battle axe and take it right at the knee, just above where he's shot with the arrow, and then drag him.
Okay. Give me damage.
All right.
I did not expect this. I don't know. I should have expected it, but I did not expect this.
Mads is saving the fat bard. That is more than he probably should do. That is 17 damage.
The bard lets out a blood-curdling scream, higher pitched and louder than any note he's ever sung before, as his leg is separated from his body, and with it the arrow and the cable that was holding him back. And then he just starts crying as the blood flows, and Mads lifts him up over his shoulders.
I will give him 15 points from my lay on hands as I'm rushing him out.
The blood drops stop at a point as his knee is cauterized almost magically, and you guys are free to leave. There's nothing holding you back at this point.
Sprint, we're fucking gone.
Dr. Mads!
All the tiefling guards go out their exits, and they're obviously running for alerting purposes.
Oh yeah, we're barreling our way through the fucking hallways. Like, if anything gets in our way, Mads plans on just crashing through it.
Where do you guys go? You are heading down the corridor that Firdas came. Firdas, you already know that once you get... Well, actually, all of you came down this corridor. You already know you're going to get to this entry hall with the staircase going down with the entrance and these various other doors. What's your kind of game plan?
Follow me. I found a path earlier that it led underground, and I went down it a way. It split in half, and there was a way I could feel fresh air.
Lead on, cousin!
Yeah, I'm going to take him that path that I believe I was going, was it north or east?
Well, I'll let you remember. And Firdas, you, from when you came in, you already know that all the guards have vacated this castle when they chased you out because you caused that ruckus by killing a guy outside. And so you're pretty confident this entryway is going to be clear. And sure enough, when you come in and see your staircase, it's vacant. There are no cyclops or anything. And so you're able to go down the staircase and you lead them through the tunnels. It all looks the same down here, and it's all dark, and you're like, wait. And you'd taken multiple paths before, but you follow one trail you're pretty sure is right, and sure enough, you feel that fresh air again. It's the same feeling, and so you start heading out.
As we're, like, when we hit that chamber that I fought that other thing in, I pointed out to everybody, I'm like, and this is where I fought another sort of zombie giant. It was just me and the bear.
Firdas has already seen this, but when you guys first reach the bottom of this spiral staircase, you see the same thing he saw with the cell doors and the bones, and this is clearly a giant's prison from back in the day, a dungeon of sorts. And to your left, you see the corridor go down quite a long ways to almost like it's traversing underground in this city. And then you see a large threshold. To your right is the exact same, but on the opposite side, and then kind of around a corner and up is sort of where you feel that fresh air coming from.
Yeah, I'm going to follow the fresh air.
Keep on the fresh air. Okay, it's going to take you a long path through what you are guessing is towards the west side of Skazicus, and then you see the opening. It's got light coming through, and you don't know where it's going to go, but it's fresh air.
Yep, I do that. Gonna lead us out.
I think it's a crude iron ladder, and when you poke your head out the top, the light is again blinding at first, and then you adjust and you find that you are just on the outskirts of the west side of Skazicus, and you don't see any guards, but you do hear commotion going on in the center of this city.
We need to get as far away from this city as possible.
Yes, but we need to rest too.
We will get rest once we are far away. We're faster than they are. We'll be able to get some rest this eve.
Okay.
This is going to start off in like a northern parabola almost. Like we're going to head away from the city and then kind of start making our way back north.
Sure. Okay.
Once we've walked around for a bit, and I'm going to all of a sudden, like, remember something and start like patting my body, and then I'll produce this little pebble, and then I speak into it. Pocket, are you there?
Now you work this thing. I just talking to it.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
Where are you two at?
Let's see. We were north of the wall of the big city where you left us, and we saw a weird deer creature come jump over our heads.
Yes, just continue walking north from there. We will meet up with you.
That's the direction you went.
Yes, but, I doubled back. I was that weird elf creature. That was me.
What'd you find up there? Up north?
We'll fill you in when we get back together. Just walk north, and we will catch up with you. I'll give you calls periodically.
Listen, we kinda...
You hear a voice from the distance, and then you can tell it grabbed the rock out of his hands, and it says, now listen, I came to work in Skalzakis, and I came with your protection. I wasn't expecting to have to go into the woods by myself. I was on the main road before, but now I'm gonna get kind of lost in the woods. I don't have you here.
Just walk north for Hodel's sake.
All right, but I hope you find us. Otherwise, I'm walking back south.
I don't even respond. I angrily put this little pebble back in my pocket, and I'm like stomping like a 3-year-old that doesn't get their way.
You hang up your rock.
Yep.
This area where you came out of this sewer-like system, it's deserty and there's some sand and it's hot and arid, and then the further north you go, you're getting back into that swampy forest. It's at a point where you guys are free to navigate. You are welcome to roleplay and give me survival checks, whoever's ahead of this caravan.
So, like, when we finished fighting the dragon and started running back downstairs, we ran past Ursa once again and just kept on running. And so then he turns around and starts following us back the other way. And it's around this point probably where all of a sudden it's like just like constantly trying to, run through these hallways and follow our sit and everything like that. And we've just left it behind. And then all of a sudden it's like, and just disappears.
I truly am sorry that I had to take your leg, Bart.
My leg. I guess I was playing in the streets before. I can go back to playing in the streets again, but damn, that don't feel good.
My intention was not to maim you, but instead to save your life.
You say that, but when you talked about taking my leg earlier, you mentioned maybe leaving me to die.
And I did not. You should take that to heart.
I suppose I ought to thank you, but I just came down to record things and journal. I didn't come down to lose a leg.
Yes, well, I did not think that you would get shot by ballista.
Nor I was trying to stay out of the fight. I guess I'm gonna have to write a song about this.
You are very brave, Fat Bart.
Perhaps you can write it in 3/4 time.
I think that might have been a little uncalled for.
That was too soon.
You guys walk about 15 to 20 minutes. Give me, Constitution, probably at advantage, Mads.
Okay. Alright. Oh, shit. Nat 20 means a 30. 34, or 33, sorry.
This bard is fat, but you have had this adrenaline burst from the fight, and he is missing some of his weight. He left it back in the castle, so you're holding steady, carrying his weight on you, until suddenly there's another energy explosion from your core. It's less intensive now. It's more like a strong breeze, and nobody gets staggered so much as their clothes rustle and their hairs blow in the wind suddenly, and another stillness.
It would seem that rat is either agreeing or disagreeing with me, depending upon how you would look at it.
So what are we going to do now?
It would seem that we have either started or become an unwitting part of a war that will now be looming for our doorstep. And as their leader said, we do not have the manpower to deal with this. We have not been stocking up for a war as they have.
Earlier, I met someone in the woods. They did not want a war either. They were very powerful. It was a messenger from Vial. There may be perhaps a way to deal with this without a large-scale war.
And what does your god propose?
It will require more conversation with him, which I believe I can make happen. But from what I've seen, perhaps we may be able to cut the head off the snake, and it might do enough damage to keep this from spreading. Look how close we were able to get to the king. We did them great damage back there, too.
I don't believe we will be invited again.
Well, we know ways in, as we were able to get out.
I am with you, cousin.
Perhaps once we lick our wounds and have a clear night or couple days thought, we'll be able to come up with something.
I have a few ideas if you're open to hearing them.
Absolutely.
I believe that we should start with trying to construct some sort of trebuchet or catapult. If we could keep enough stones to keep them busy for a short amount of time, there is no telling how much damage we could do, but the amount of time that it would take to build such a machine of war would also be considerable. Which leads me to my next idea. Perhaps instead, we just focus on getting our bard friend back in standing shape, and a few of us could launch stones from our hands, while the rest try and infiltrate and, like you said, cut off the head of the snake.
Yes, I could see value in this.
But I fear that we will need more allies.
If there's people that I know that are good at making such mechanized things, it would be the gnomes. At this point, I reach back into my pocket, realizing that we've been walking a while without checking back in with our gnome friends, and I get the little pebble, and I'm like, Cena, maybe you should handle speaking with them. And I hand it over.
Hello, pocket gnomes?
Yeah, we're still here, and we've been walking a while.
And his voice disappears. We found a clearing.
A clearing?
Well, there's a clearing cut in this forest. Feels like a pretty good place to wait as any. Well, we stopped here. I was kind of waiting to hear from you because I didn't really want to get lost in the woods. And if you can find this clearing, you can find us.
Okay, we're still walking.
Looks like there was a campfire here.
I believe I know which campfire they're talking about. I can get us there.
Good work. Just stay where you are. We'll come find you.
You guys walk along, kind of nursing your wounds. And Cena, as things have quieted down and your adrenaline has come down, you're kind of reflecting on the absolute chaos that just ensued down in that throne room. And the use of that ring was incredibly beneficial to saving Mads, possibly saving his life, but it brought back a flood of memories beyond just being in this grassy lawn with this person that you cared about. You get glimpses of other times where you had talks and you were by a lake and there was a tree, and it is almost more than you can bear because this person is gone. And then you hear footsteps, and up beside to your right, Bogdana's walking, and she's kind of clutching her side where the grapple shot went through, and she looks at you and gives kind of a smile, and you can just see there's dried blood. And she reaches up with her arm and kind of puts it around your shoulder in the crook of her elbow and kind of pulls you towards her, almost like a playfully aggressive hug. And then she briefly kisses you on the side of your forehead and lets go of you. And then she keeps on walking.
When she reaches over and like puts her arm around my shoulder, Sina will cast Healing Word on her, and she's like, she kind of just like, like cool. This is a cool hug, and then she kisses the side of her head, and it's just like static, sort of. So it went from this nice little like Healing Word to just like hand on a light switch, and she doesn't say anything.
You can see her start to walk more upright, and you can tell that it took effect. The Giants March is a production by the Time to Die Podcast Network. It's one of our many different stories. If you'd like to find out more, visit timetodiерpg.com. If you're enjoying the show, we would be ever so grateful for a review on your favorite podcatcher, or a shout out on social media. Post about us on Reddit or Twitter, share us with a friend, whatever you can do to let people know that we exist and that you think our shows are worth a listen. If you would like to support us financially, you can pledge monthly at patreon.com/timetodiерpg, or you can give us a one-time donation at ko-fi.com/timetodiерpg. Want to hang out with us? We have a Discord server. The link is in the episode description, or you can find it at our Time to Die website. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at timetodiерpg. Find us on Reddit at r/timetodiерpg. Tim, who plays Mads, is on Twitter at IdaGrabYourGun. Chris, who plays Feardos, just changed his Twitter handle to PPCrosta. I don't know. Aubrey, who plays Sina, is on Twitter at AubreyGray1. That's AubreeGray, and the number 1. And I, Brian Bridges, am on Twitter at ManlyBrian. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Giants March.